a little article from Bank of America have said that the Federal Reserve has messed up. Well, they didn't really say they've messed up. That's just me trying to get your attention. Welcome to Traders Reality, guys. What are we talking about? I'm talking about this. Bank of America have come out and said that the interest rate story is pretty much done, in the sense that the Federal Reserve is now going to come to the end of its easing cycle because inflation is going to be still a big problem. Well, we know that to be the case. Why? Because look at the labor market. It's doing great. Unemployment rate comes down to 4.1%, although they are expecting that inflation the core inflation CPI month on month is coming in lower. That's a good reading. Well, that's what the Federal Reserve is going to be paying attention to. But it is going to show that inflation itself is coming up at 2.9%. When we go into the actual data, you can see that they haven't really been going anywhere. That 2% target ain't happening, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. The lowest it's been is effectively 2.4%. The highest it's been, of course, at 4.9%, and it's just been fluctuating ever since. Risks are effectively skewed to the upside in the sense that inflation is more than likely going to go up. What data could that lead to? In other words, the labor market. If the labor market this week shows unemployment claims coming in lower, Fed's got a problem. Go over and have a look at oil's price right now. That's another trigger that's going to be a problem for us. Oil right now, as of the day, is trading up 3.3% in the green, guys. What does that mean? Well, there's a number of factors that could be leading to oil's price going up. Given that Biden has effectively authorized some tariffs on oil with regards to Russia, that's probably causing why oil's price is going higher. Not to forget the fact that the 2-year and the 10-year yields are climbing up. This is also going to be putting pressure on the stock market. It's also going to be putting pressure on crypto. Speaking of crypto, we can see that crypto's lost $230 billion worth of market cap. It's just gone. Where's it going? Well, let's just quickly have a look at where we are in terms of crypto. Quickly have a look at Bitcoin. It's taken a little bit of a move to the downside, but doing very well to actually come back up and reverse from these lows. And like I said, as long as Bitcoin can retain itself within this range around the 90,000 mark, then you may have been able to take advantage of a potential spot play in this on the assumption that Bitcoin can sustain itself and continue to go back up from here. But what other factors are actually going to lead to Bitcoin potentially coming back down? Because that's what the general consensus is. Well, MicroStrategy thinks otherwise because they're just now looking at buying more Bitcoin. Just there you go, switch it over. Yeah. So $243 million worth of Bitcoin have been purchased by MicroStrategy. And of course, investors are scared because everyone is getting worried about what the Federal Reserve is going to do. Put it into perspective, ladies and gentlemen. If the Federal Reserve sees that the inflation is still going to be a problem, the only thing that is left to instigate the idea of getting inflation down is to increase interest rates. Agree to disagree? Quite frankly, the event that I'm looking for in this marketplace is something like that. For the Federal Reserve to just change their stance and be like, let's increase interest rates. Inflation is going to be sticky because remember, the Federal Reserve can't undermine itself by changing its inflationary target. Even Ray Dalio said it 6 months ago that the Federal Reserve might need to reevaluate its mandated target of 2% inflation and price stability. Well, oil's going up right now. So price stability, well, that's not going to be happening. Why? Because as long as oil's price is going up, manufacturers are going to see that it's going to now cost them a little bit more flavor to actually get their product overseas because they got to pay more for fuel, which means that who's going to absorb that? The consumer. And this is what the problem was with inflation back in the day. Inflation kept on going up, but when you were going out and reading the consumer sentiment articles, they were all saying that everyone is loving life. Everyone in the United States is all good. Question I've got for you guys is, how's it going to impact you if they were to increase the interest rates again? Quickly breaking it down for the cryptocurrency gang. In front of us is the Bitcoin Coinbase Premium Index. Now, if you are new and you don't know what this chart is, it effectively tells you if US retail investors are buying and selling Bitcoin. If it's green, it means they're buying. If it's red, it means they're selling. So what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on the green bit? Yeah. So if you focus on the green bit, when you saw it turn green here, you were buying Bitcoin. Yeah. Came down. Now, you may have heard me talk about this in the past. For anybody that's been with me from back in the day, you'll know that when this chart is green, you will really want to be selling your Bitcoin. And someone did say in the channel, you don't get rich holding Bitcoin, you get rich selling it. So I'd like to know if you guys agree or disagree with that. Now, it's not all doom and gloom for crypto, as much as you might think it is. Right here, this article is suggesting that supply on exchanges is actually at significant lows. That's good news. Why? Because if there's less of a supply on exchanges, it means that people are buying it. But who's buying it? Well, it is showing that institutional investors are buying the Bitcoin. Now, again, if we go over and have a look at Bitcoin spot ETF, you can see that BlackRock's balance is still at the 557. But when we go down, we can see that they were selling a little bit to the sum of around 1,300, 1,500 Bitcoin, which is not really a problem now. Let's be honest now. It's only going to take off 1,500 Bitcoin off that. It's not something to be crying about or be worried about. But let me put it into perspective for you all, just so you guys can just not be so worried about it. In front of you is a logic that could actually happen with Bitcoin. Stick with me. This week, we've got inflation data, okay? If inflation is coming in as they're expecting it, in other words, core CPI coming in at 0.2% lower than what it was, that's a good sign, okay? If the year on year is coming in at 2.9%, fine, it's going up, it's sticky, which would make sense why Bank of America is saying that the Fed's easing cycle could be coming to an end and they're going to go into a more of a restrictive cycle. Because remember, most of the meetings that we've had and any comments that are going to be coming out from any previous FOMC speakers and the ones that are going to be coming out this week, if they do maintain the stance of being hawkish, it means that they're going to keep interest rates higher for a longer period of time. But let me just put things into perspective for you. Right now, if we're going to go on the assumption that institutional investors are buying Bitcoin, then all of these moves that you're witnessing from cryptocurrency and Bitcoin coming down will be short-lived. In front of you, I've got this logic, which could actually come into play with Bitcoin. Look to the left, you've got the green vector candle region right here. Now, if you are new to the channel, passing through, and you don't know what I'm talking about with this green vector candle, get yourself over to tradersreality.com where you can take a free course on the hybrid system, which shows you how to trade using the hybrid system. Now, there it is. What a brilliant computer. Now, with that being said, if you are new, just take this free course and it just helps you understand what the vector candles are, pivot levels, volume, and how we use the hybrid system. It will serve you if you just do this 1 hour of this course so you are aligned with what I mean about the vector candles. So going into it all, there could be this move. I would expect Bitcoin to do a sharp drop lower and come straight back into the range. What do I mean by that? Well, if we think that Bitcoin's going to repeat history, and that means that the same guys that are going to be holding Bitcoin and buying and selling Bitcoin within a compressed range, that means this area right here for Bitcoin, and you may have heard me talking about it, may actually repeat itself. What do I mean by that? Well, this is the longest time that Bitcoin spent close to its all-time high in terms of a consolidation. Are we seeing the same sort of behavior right here? Now, what I'm looking for Bitcoin to do is to make a sharp drop to then come back up. That means you see one daily candle, Bitcoin correcting, and the next daily candle will bring it back up again. Why? Because if institutional investors are coming into cryptocurrency and the supply on exchanges is actually low, there's going to be that exertion of purchasing, that lots of money going into cryptocurrency. Because remember, even go back into the Bitcoin Coinbase Premium Index. This is negative. And when this comes down, it means that US retail is selling. Smart money's buying. People on the other side of the sell orders are picking up the crypto that you are selling. And if we do manage to stay within this peak, that would then lead Bitcoin to sharply come down, come back into the vectors, bounce away from it. Fundamentally, investors aren't really putting money to work. They're not. Just go and have a look at the NASDAQ. Look at this. Right now, this is the NASDAQ's chart. What's going on in the stock market? Yields are going up. Look at all this selling. Bottom right, you can see the pink bars right here. That's telling me that institutional investors are actively selling at the highs. When you start seeing blue bars coming in above the 50-day average, which is this red line, you'd be of the assumption that market is going to climb higher. If you are new to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and subscribe on the way out. If you want more information on the hybrid system, go and check out tradersreality.com. It's in the description where you can take that free course so that you can understand the hybrid system. With that being said, I'll be checking in with you all tomorrow morning. Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love. Peace.